As a leader, you've probably run into a situation where someone is not performing the way that you need them to or you expect them to. So, your go to option or in your mind is that they need training. Wow. That's really many times why people bring me into their organizations is because they think training is going to solve the issue. But it's not always the case. And in this video, I'm going to show you how to diagnose what actually is the problem and give you three options as what might solve the issue a little bit easier or different or more effectively than doing full scale training. So, yeah, training is always an option, but it could be just coaching and it could be a policy change. So, let me walk you through those three, and then you can decide at the end what is the best thing to do for you and your employees. So training is always an option when there is something happening in your workforce where people are not performing to expectations. But there are specific scenarios you want to use training. So training, we tend to think of it like we see on the screen here, where it is a group of people, one facilitator, but you can do one-on-one training. So the keys for training is that it addresses a gap in performance. So you are expecting one thing, the person or employees are doing something else. You need to figure out what's missing and then give them that information and chance to experience it in the form of training. Training is also used for when new products are coming out or services. So I was a manager of continuous development at a large call center organization. So when we rolled out new products to our consumers, my job was to figure out how to train our 500 agents on how to do it. So that's when training works, is when there's a gap in knowledge or you need to introduce something new that they will eventually need to execute on. Coaching works with the idea that the person, the group, the employee individually, they know what to do, but they're just not doing it. And you don't know why. And you use coaching to figure out why. It could be motivation. They're just not where they used to be. It could be they don't understand what you're looking for, or it could be that they just aren't sure the way you want it done. So when we think about coaching, I used to hate the analogy of sports coaching when I was younger because I didn't play sports. So I didn't get that. But I played an instrument. So I got that a conductor is also a coach because I played my part, I knew my part, but I didn't always play it the way the conductor wanted me to. So those are kind of ways of thinking about coaching, is that you're simply helping somebody get to the level they need to be with knowledge they already have. You can also do hard skill coaching. So the bottom corner is somebody showing somebody how to do maybe a technology better. Maybe they need to be doing a process technically better. And then the last one is probably what you mostly think of coaching as a one on one situation where you're trying to dig into deeper. Why are they not doing something, or do they not understand? And then you're clearly saying your expectations of a of being their manager. So there's a difference between coaching in a sport and conducting in music. Sports, we know what the desired end is, to win the game. For a conductor, it's to play a beautiful piece of music to the conductor's interpretation. At work, we're not always clear as leaders what we are looking for from performance, because there is really rarely a zero sum game of win or lose. So that's part of coaching as well, explaining your clear expectations. There's lots of times for coaching to come in to be more of a quick fix and investigation and open dialogue, where training tends to be more of a long term, bigger picture solution. One more option you have, and this is you determine that no one's really doing anything wrong, at least as it is currently designed. The employees are following your current procedures or policies, and you realize you need to be doing something different. So that requires a policy change. And a policy change is, there's a couple of steps to it. Is that first you need to decide what the policy that you have is not working, rewrite the policy, and then figure out a way to communicate the policy. Communication sometimes is enough depending on how big or small the policy or procedure change is. And then sometimes it needs to be training because you're actually asking for a very comprehensive change, something that is difficult to understand or something that may cause a lot of questions, either from the employees who are trying to execute the new policy or from the customers that are going to receive the result of this new policies and process. So, to summarize today, when you have employees who are not performing up to what your standards are or your expectations are, you might find that there are three different ways to handle the situation. There's training, which is usually where everybody jumps to, but it's not always going to be your best option. Training is an option depending on the circumstances. Coaching is another great way to handle performance challenges when people they should know what to do, but they're not doing it, and they need a little guidance from you to help them get to that next level. And then finally, you may find out it's not the employees at all. It's really there's a deficit in your policies or your standard operating procedures that need polishing or changing. I've done all three of these and some other things that I have tools in my toolbox to help with performance management and performance improvement, but I'm always happy to help. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them below and I'll do my best to answer them. Always like and subscribe, that helps. And then I can create more content for you to help answer your real questions about running a business with your employees. And we do it in less than 15 minutes. So you can just do it during your lunch hour and get back to work. Well, maybe you have a lunch hour. Some days I did, some days I didn't. But enjoy the rest of your lunch and I'll see you next time.